Good morning, everybody. Good, beautiful morning to all the beautiful souls that are here with me today. Hope everyone's doing all right. Out for a morning walk, bright and early. And I've been reflecting a lot on my past. A lot of the chaos that has happened in my past. A lot of chaos that's happening in the world right now. And how I've grown, right, to deal with it. And I've realized, I've always been a high frequency energy. I've always been a high frequency energy. And so because of that, I had to deal with a lot of chaos in order to learn my true potential. Maybe you might resonate with this in the sense that you've dealt with a lot of strife growing up. You dealt with a lot of hardship. Maybe a lot of internal conflicts in the home, maybe, internal conflicts within yourself, right? And you didn't feel like you were safe, because I felt like that. I felt like that, in my own house. I was never really safe. I had to deal with a lot of nonsensical behavior, right? And while I am still growing past that, right? This idea of healing, I don't think you will ever truly be fully healed, but you can work with what you've been given, right? And alchemize the pain and turn it into something else. While I've been working on that, I've also been reflecting on just myself and how I've been dealing with the chaos around me. Sometimes I feel a little hopeless, right? Sometimes I feel like I can't really do as much as I'd want to, right? And, sometimes I get so down that it's like, oh my goodness, what am I supposed to do? And then I remembered, that's like how I felt when I was a child too. I felt so hopeless, so helpless, right? And while as a child, I didn't really have the resources and the tools to really overcome that. Now, I'm my own adult, I'm my own person. I have to help myself. And I realized, I've been too busy absorbing chaos, right? I've been too busy absorbing the chaos around me, whether it be the stuff that's happening in the world right now, whether it be any internal conflicts, right? Whether it be with family, whether it be with friends, whether it be within myself, within my own being. I've been too busy absorbing chaos instead of, just being informed of it, right? And observing it. Because as soon as I start to shift my gears, shift my lenses to where it's like I'm just observing the stuff that's happening around me and not letting it affect me, right, to a deeper degree. And that's not to say to stay uninformed, right? But just observing it to the point where, it's not like being an active detriment to your health, right? I realize, just how high my frequency can vibrate, right? And now I understand, I may not feel like I'm like helping as many people as I could be, but I still am helping people, right? I'm still helping myself. I'm still helping my family around me. And I'm helping other people, whether I realize it or not. I've always wanted to, that's been one of my biggest goals, dreams, ever since I was a kid. I remember whenever I would be asked what it is that I want to do, I would always say I want to help people, right? That's something that I always said, doing something hands-on and helping people. And I realized, I am doing that. Whether I realize it or not, I am doing that. And, just in different senses. Because I spoke it into existence, being able to help people. I spoke that ideal, that wish, right, for myself into existence, right? But first, in order to be able to vibrate at a frequency where you do the things that it is that you want to do, not only do you have to believe in yourself, but you also have to help yourself first, right? And so that's what I was doing, I've been helping myself tolerate and deal with the chaos within me, helping myself navigate and not let the chaos around me affect me as much as it has in the past. You know, I grew up in a very troubled home, right? A very needlessly troubled home, might I add, right? There was a lot of things that happened that shouldn't have happened. There was a lot of struggles within myself that I still had to work on, right? A lot of things that I would consider issues, right? Like neediness, you know, attachment issues, right? And like feelings of you know, not really valuing my self-worth, right? Or not understanding just how valuable I actually am, right? But as soon as I start helping myself, you know, start doing things that I know that I need to do for myself, I realize I'm able to help people more just because I've been able to help myself. And it's been a while, you know, it's been a lot of, I would say it's already been a lot of work, you know, with myself, you know, and I try to give myself grace. I try to not let my head get so overwhelmed, right? And try to remember all that it is that I've dealt with and that I've managed to overcome. And by doing that now, I realize I'm able to help people even more because I've been able to help myself. And the energy that I vibrate at reflects that, right? I was in a low frequency area for a while. I was in a very low frequency area, and my vibration reflected that, right? I had such a low self-mental, right? I had a defeatist mindset. You know, I would say things are over before they even began, you know, and while I did good in certain areas, you know, I never really knew how to navigate certain relationships. I never really knew how to navigate my relationship with myself. And that in turn led me to become so overwhelmed and so, just anxiety ridden that it would actively hinder me. And so when I did start working on myself, I had an epiphany one day, you know, realizing I could be the best version of myself, right? Or you could choose whatever version it is that you want to be, right? I started working on myself and my energy started going up. And now, you know, my area around me reflects that. You know, I've done so many different things now since I've started, you know, working on myself. And while it's been a lot of work, you know, it's been a lot of time, I know that things are just going to continue to get better, right? Things are just going to continue to get better as long as I keep applying myself and I stay true to the things that I value. One of those things being helping others, right? Doing these videos, for example, that is one thing that, what's up, Crow? One thing that I do that not only helps me, but I believe, you know, also reaches out to other people, right? And that's when one of my main goals with doing this is to act as a sort of like a video journal for myself, and to hopefully maybe resonate with someone else out there, even if it's just one person, right? Because that's all I want to do. I want to be able to reach one person and help them out, right? And then that will start a chain reaction. Yeah. I don't know. I've been reflecting a lot, you know, just sitting in solitude, you know, dealing with some recent hardships and understanding that, you know, I am a lot stronger than I have ever given myself credit for. You know, that applies to whoever's watching this as well. You know, maybe you don't give yourself grace. Maybe you find yourself beating yourself up or letting the circumstances around you affect you to a greater degree. Well, I'm here to tell you that your energy frequency is much higher than you even know, right? It's just a matter of finding it within yourself, right? And doing things to help yourself, so that way you can do things to help others, or to help yourself even further, whether it is, career wise, whether it is you want to do something like put something out there, whether you want to go to a new place, right? No matter what it is, but it starts within you, and realizing that your energy is much, much higher than it gives on. But yeah, it's a beautiful day out here, man. I just wanted to get this out. I'm very thankful for a lot of things, and I hope that this message, this however zigzaggy it might have been, I hope at least something stuck with someone. I'm gonna go ahead and end this off around here. If you're seeing this, I love you. I hope you have an amazing rest of your day. Make sure to take care of yourself, because the only person who can take care of you is you. And always remember, your energy is a lot higher. Your energy frequency is a lot higher than you could even know. But you have to find that within yourself. Have a good one.